Tell me you don't know much about vaccines without telling me you don't know much about vaccines. I'm a pediatrician, but I am also an associate professor of pediatrics. And whenever I have students or residents who don't know much about a subject, I will say something like, well, this is a chance to learn something new. So let's learn something new today. So the first tell is that you're lumping everything in together, the majority of vaccines. What does that even mean? What are you talking about? We have lots of different types of vaccines. We have passive immunity, where we just give you the antibodies. You don't have to make them yourself. There are inactivated vaccines. So these are vaccines that have viruses or bacteria, but they've been killed. And that's different from live attenuated vaccines. These are vaccines that are still alive, but they've been attenuated or weakened so they can't get you sick. There are subunit or recombinant vaccines that only contain like a piece or a particle of a pathogen. So think about like just the protein or just a peptide. And there are toxoid vaccines. So these are vaccines that give you immunity to a toxin that a pathogen produces, but it doesn't give you immunity to the germ itself, just the thing that causes disease. And of course, there's the mRNA vaccine, which is used for the COVID vaccine. And this just contains mRNA that lets your own ribosomes make the protein to express the antibody on the surface of your cells. Isn't technology and science really cool? Now, each vaccine type has its pros and cons, and we use them for different things. So think of passive immunity as immunity that can be passed through the placenta to a baby if we give a mom a vaccine, or the vaccine that we can give to preemie babies or babies with congenital heart lesions that will protect them against RSV. Live virus vaccines like measles vaccine or the varicella or chickenpox vaccine provides really strong immune response. You might get full lifelong immunity with just 2 doses, but you can't give them to everybody, specifically people who are immunocompromised in some way. Now, the inactivated vaccines you could, and for these, think about your flu shot or the polio vaccine. But their immune response is not as robust as the live virus vaccines. Recombinant vaccines have a really strong immune response to a specific part of the germ that's going to get you sick. And that can be given to people with weakened immune systems. And for this, think about HPV, Haemophilus influenza type B, hepatitis B, whooping cough. And then you've got your toxoid vaccines. Think about tetanus and diphtheria. And what do you mean they don't prevent transmission? Of course they do. Here we have the introduction of the measles vaccine and then the MMR vaccine, and now it's almost gone. Here we have cases of chickenpox, smallpox, which has been globally eradicated, and polio cases, which were all gone. The US was considered polio-free until 2022, of course, when people stopped getting their vaccines, and then there was another case.